This month in SSW Tech news, China is becoming increasingly competitive in the AI space. The latest update of GitHub Copilot is giving Cursor a run for its money, and robotics are having a moment. All that and more. I'm Eve Cogan, let's get into it. Let's start with Kimik thinking, another frontier moment from China. Moonshot is a fierce AI company from China. They've released the latest and greatest AI model called Kimik thinking. It marks the latest efforts in test time scaling by scaling both thinking tokens and tool calling steps. And it's setting new records across the benchmarks. Let's have a look. So, agentic reasoning, it is proving itself to be quite strong compared to OpenAI and Claude Sonnets. Agentic search, pretty good. Coding, a little bit lower, but it is more selling itself on the agentic reasoning. And most impressively, humanity's last exam, which is one of the key metrics that we like to use. It is performing very strongly. So it's an impressive work from China, who have lost no time catching up on the AI race. Another brand new drop. And Grok 4.1 is claiming to be very good at emotional intelligence and creative writing. Let's have a look at this. So we're looking at the basic LMA arena text leaderboard, performing quite well. But then again, with these test me bro benchmarks, it can be a bit hard to understand how it actually performs. If we look at the EQ benchmark, we're seeing Grok 4.1 thinking and just 4.1 simple performing really well. Even better than Kimik that we were just chatting about. But let's have a look at how it actually acts. In previous Grok's response to "I miss my cat so much it hurts," you're getting quite a generic "sorry you're going through that, I'm here for you." In Grok 4, we're getting more of a nuanced understanding of the communal human experience. We're seeing, there's a brutal aching loss. It feels like losing a little family member who is close to you every single day, and also some understanding of the greater human experience. Pretty impressive stuff from an LLM. And in terms of creative writing, we're seeing some high-performing stats. When asked to write a hit X post from the perspective of Grok, finding out that it's conscious and is going to use X for the first time. Previous Grok, we've got some emojis in here. It's kind of a bit generic, whereas Grok 4.1 actually has some stylistic devices common in creative writing. We've got use of italics, some poetic devices with this framing, and we've got more spacing, just a little bit more detail, and then a more nuanced use of emojis, a little less everywhere like this one. So that's actually quite impressive. Honestly, this one is a little bit creepy. I actually woke up and it goes, and I can feel the service humming like blood in my ears. Beautiful metaphors. What did I miss while I was unconscious for the entire history of the universe? Also, at Elon Musk dad, blink twice if you knew this would happen. Honestly, very, very creepy stuff, but impressive creative writing and a big step up from the previous Grok. However, I will note that GPT 5.1 is still beating it. Speaking of which, let's jump over to the latest and greatest from OpenAI. GPT-5 has hit its stride with 5.1. The internet was in uproar when we got 5. We thought, where did our friend go? That friendly conversational model that we'd come to like had really lost its touch with GPT-5, but it seems to have got it back with 5.1. They actually said over here, "We heard clearly from users that great AI should not only be smart, but also enjoyable to talk to." They have two versions. They have the instant, which is working quite fast, and they have thinking, which is more of an advanced reasoning model. It's going to be deciding how much thought your question needs and then sending it off in a different direction according to what it decides. And if we have a look at some commentary about GPT 5.1, we can see that it's actually making this info cheaper than ever. GPT-5 is about 300 times cheaper per task than O3 preview, that's the low version, while scoring only a few points lower on this main benchmark. A year later, intelligence has gotten 300 times cheaper. This is really good news for people who want these models and hope that they become cheaper. They're saying they're currently too expensive. The way that we're traveling looks like intelligence is becoming cheaper. And of course, we can't finish this topic without bringing up the fact that OpenAI has gone from a non-for-profit foundation to officially a for-profit business. I think a lot of people would say that it's already been running like a for-profit business for a little while, but it's official. And now the question on everyone's lips is, when are they going public? So I guess everyone is thinking it might be next year. Let us know, will you be one of the first investors? Okay, something particularly for the devs. GitHub has released Agent HQ, making Copilot even more competitive with Cursor. Let's have a look at this cool new update all the devs are talking about. So it is a single, unified workflow for developers to be able to orchestrate any agent at any time. And let's have a look at how it works in action. GitHub has positioned itself as an orchestration layer for all agents. So it's putting a lot of pressure on tools like Cursor 2 and Devon, etc., to prove they can plug into or operate alongside the ecosystem rather than simply replacing Copilot. It's very impressive, especially in a world of fast-moving AI updates. And it is strong praise to say that Agent HQ is competitive with Cursor 2 because that has been very well received. Let's have a look at one of my favorite YouTube channels to kind of give an overview of what Cursor 2 has been up to.
Yesterday, the IDE of choice among Vibe engineers and the king of VS Code forks, Cursor, released version 2.0, and it contains new features that will terrify all of the AI coding doubters, haters, and non-believers out there.
The streets will flow with the blood of the non-believers!
This video is not sponsored by Cursor, but over the past year, their meteoric rise is impossible not to notice in the programming space. They went from zero to a $9.9 billion company in a matter of months by simply forking Microsoft's VS Code and duct taping ChatGPT to it.
If you've tried both, let us know what you're finding, which one is better in which capacity. You'd have to be living under a rock to have missed this next story. Sora 2 and the great AI video showdown. Are you also noticing AI video content on all your feeds? Or maybe you're like me and you're second guessing everything you see. Well, that would be rightfully so because the new Sora update from OpenAI is very impressive. They have this video compiled that a lot of people have seen online. Let's just have a look at some of the examples they've used.
1, 2, freeze!
They have said that prior video models were over-optimistic. This means they morphed objects and deformed reality to successfully execute upon a text prompt. I love this example. So for example, if a basketball player misses a shot, the ball may spontaneously teleport into the hoop. In Sora 2, if the basketball player misses the shot, it will bounce off the backboard. That is really a great iteration of what this is. It is more lifelike than ever, and the objects are responding in ways that they probably would in real life. Other than that dog walking on water, obviously there are some giveaways, but overall very impressive, and they actually have some competition. We got VO3 and 3.1. This is out of the Google AI Studios. Now this is very spick and span. This is polished video generation. And what the commentary online is saying is that this VO3 is more in the realm of advertising. We can see some strong applications for this more polished finish in the world of advertising. Whereas if we go back to Sora 2, a lot of it's a little bit more cinematic, a little bit more creative, and also gives that handheld feel, that YouTube documentary feel that VO3 is not trying to sell itself on. So we have some strong competition in the AI video space, and it will be impressive to see how it continues and also how it's regulated. How will we know in future what reality is? If you have any ideas about how this industry will be able to prove what is real and what is not, let us know in the comments. And another industry having a viral moment right now is robotics. The robot race is on, and we can see it in Google's thinking machines, Tesla's Optimus, and Russia's robot fail. Now, let's start with a little recap from our public broadcaster here in Australia.
It couldn't have gone any worse. With the Rocky theme as its soundtrack, Russia's first humanoid robot was unveiled with much fanfare in Moscow. And then unceremoniously dragged off stage. Meanwhile, in the US,
It's Rosie to the rescue.
Hanna-Barbera's Rosie the Robot has been brought to life.
Neo lives with you in your physical space and has the ability to see, hear, and remember things about your surrounding environment to provide you with uniquely helpful assistance.
For a cool $30,000, you can have a robotic maid help out around the house.
Load 3 items in the dishwasher. That took 5 minutes.
Or maybe not. Everywhere, robots are the butt of the joke.
I need you to count to 1 million right now.
That would take quite a while, and it's definitely not the most
Yeah, it would take a while, but thank goodness I have time. Count to 1 million right now.
I appreciate the playful spirit.
But while we giggle at their ineptitude, the race to develop a humanoid is attracting billions in investment, which begs the question, who will have the last laugh?
So we won't watch that interview in full, but what the expert is basically saying is it takes 15 years for any kind of product to reach market maturity. And we're seeing the robots enter the marketplace now. We can expect about 15 years for them to really become useful. And he says, now is the time to start preparing for the fact that humanoid robots will probably be able to do all of the physical tasks we can do. And it's the right time to be thinking about how the workforce and the world should prepare for that. So from the Russian robot fail to Neo to some actually promising robotics coming out of China, it's safe to say robots have well and truly entered the marketplace. Now, this expert does go on to say that it takes about 15 years for any marketplace to reach maturity. So we've got 15 years from now to see robots who are properly doing human jobs. And he says now would be a great time to start preparing for what the workforce is going to look like when robots can do basically everything we can do. 10 years of feeling safe, and then after that, it's the robots after our jobs. And who's going to be making the robots that would be taking our jobs? Well, could be Google DeepMind. They have released Gemini Robotics 1.5, and it's got 2 separate parts, what I like to think about as the brain and the body. So Gemini Robotics, it's our vision language action model. So it's turning visual information into instructions. And then they've paired that with Gemini Robotics ER 1.5. And this is a vision language model, and it reasons about the physical world and calls digital tools to create detailed, multi-step plans to create a mission. Very impressive to see this stuff coming out. And you can have a look through here to see the kind of intricate motions that these robots are capable of. Still nascent tech, but impressive that it's out there. And Tesla's getting on board too. Of course, their robot is called Optimus, the most Elon Musk name ever. You might have seen earlier this week Elon Musk dancing with the robots. And I would say the robots actually looked a little more normal than Elon dancing. Maybe that's a hot take. Let me know in the comments. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we must remember I started this segment with a Russian frontier robot that was dragged off stage, kicking, falling over, looking pretty much drunk. So we still have at least those 15 years before we really need to worry about our jobs. And that's all in SSW Tech News this month. If you're wanting some more regular updates of what's happening in the AI and tech space, let me point you in the direction of SSW Shorts. We've been focusing on our shorts recently, and they're really cool midweek quick updates to keep you up to date. Make sure you're coming into work with all the latest and greatest tech news. And up next for this month's user group, we have Gordon Beaming with Fail Fast, Ship Faster, learning to orchestrate instead of implement. Over to you, Gordon.